বাবা ভালো আছো?
খুব ভালো.
Very good.
Tell
আমি
me.
আজ so I kind of I was about to continue in Bengali. So I told myself every time I greet you and I say good evening Baba. So for anybody who's seeing these videos will not be able to differentiate from one episode to the rest. So I
Uh,
had decided I'm going to say Bhalo Acho Baba. So
yes,
here it goes. How
yes.
are you? How has the week been?
Week was good. Week was good. Little cold here and
Right.
enjoying life.
Wonderful. One should. One should.
Yes.
So perfect, Baba. So today I have chosen two areas which I feel are somewhere intertwined with your life, right from your childhood to now.
Okay.
If I may say, two passions that have really been close to your heart. First is movies, the other being books.
Yes.
And today's topic is, are movies as important as books?
Very good.
Okay, so before I jump into whether and before we conclude whether movies are as important as books, I'll, like all my conversations, I'll probably take you back to your childhood. So, my first question to you is, do you recall the first movie that you watched?
Yes.
You
Of
did?
course. Yes.
Okay. And so A, tell me which movie you watched, and I want you to recall the entire experience of watching your first cinema.
Oh my God. That is a long, long back.
Okay. Hmm.
And if I can, I don't know whether it is a first film,
Okay.
but
Anyhow, the one that you remember.
but I can tell you the experience of watching a film.
Right.
It was the film was Tumsa Nahi Dekha,
Okay. Okay.
Shami Kapoor film.
Shami Kapoor. Yes.
Nasir Hussain directed, OP Nayyar music, Shami Kapoor and Amita, and I must be around 7, 8 years old.
Hmm.
And my people, I was at Jhansi.
Okay. Okay.
I had gone to attend some marriage,
Hmm.
and after that marriage was over, and the film was released, and they wanted to go to watch this Tumsani Dekha. So
Hmm.
all মানে বড় বড় লোকের মানে our elders in the family,
Right. Right. Right.
maybe I don't know what, they decided to take me also.
No. It was a lucky day.
It was a very lucky day, and then they took me, and then I was so excited because, and then we went from we used to live in Sipri Bazaar in
Okay.
Jhansi,
Okay.
and I don't know where the cinema hall was. We went by Tonga,
Okay.
and I was thinking when the cinema hall will come and when the news will start, and actually
Right.
it was a great experience, and it was a great experience, and I really enjoyed. And from the very first movie, no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether I saw Jagriti first or Tumsani Dekha.
Hmm.
Jagriti, I can't recall any of the memories of Jagriti. Uh, and but Tumsani Dekha, I very vividly recall. And from that day, Shami Kapoor was my favorite hero. Afterwards, Devanand became.
Right.
And
Right.
Shami Kapoor and all kinds of things. यूं तो हमने लाख हंसी देखे हैं तुमसा नहीं देखा type of. And I still, whenever I go back to my good old times, and मैं अभी भी वही गाने सुनता हूँ. I
So
really,
at least you have a very good movie to tell as your first movie. तुमसे नहीं देखा is a very entertaining movie.
yeah, typical Nasir Hussain
Triple
film.
National movie.
Nasir Hussain film. All Nasir Hussain films are like that.
So can
Just
I tell you my first movie experience? Since
yeah,
I asked this, and I was just thinking to myself when I thought I'll ask this question to you. So strangely enough, like you said, I also don't remember which is my first movie. I am told it is Masoom.
okay,
I'm told that I went to see Masoom with you and Ma, and I told that. that movie had the most famous song every child loves, Lakdi Ki Kathi, Kathi
uh,
Ka Ghoda.
uh,
And I remember being told that I cried a lot after watching the movie.
mm,
So, but these are all things that have been told to me. But
mm.
the one that I remember distinctly watching in a theater, and it is not a movie that one is probably proud of watching, and it is definitely not a most spectacular Amitabh Bachchan movie. But the movie's name that I remember watching was Ganga Jamuna Saraswati.
My God.
If you remember,
So
I'm
that,
sure Amitabh Bachchan himself does not remember
yeah,
making a movie like that.
yeah.
And but I'll tell you why I remember is because a the impact of watching a movie in 70 mm, you
Mm.
know. And I remember Amitabh Bachchan's a screen presence, and he carrying this alligator behind his back.
Uh,
That created an impression that
uh.
lasts even today.
I think it's a Manmohan Desai film.
Yes, I think it is one of the more not so famous Manmohan Desai films. You're
Mm.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. You're right. So that's your movie experience. Now coming to the second love, I know this one might be a tough one to remember, but do you remember the first book that you read?
Let me clarify one point. You said
Right.
that I was kind of passionate about films as well as books. I was
Yeah.
not passionate about books. I
Very well
became
said.
passionate
Honest.
about books. Yeah, actually, I started liking books and all that when I crossed 40 years
Right.
and I live in
Right.
50
Right.
years. Actually, I started reading books when I came to Jaipur.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
before
Okay.
that, all the books, I don't call them books because they were all chemical engineering, biotechnology books, which I used to teach, and they are not
They're
books.
not story books. They're not. They're
So you
more to do
I
with
have,
your technical background,
yeah,
non-fiction.
yeah, and I have read books, few books, when my Didima was alive,
Hmm.
and she used to read every day one book,
Okay.
and I will read part of it,
Okay.
and I did not know Bengali.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
those days there used to be a film magazine called Ultarath,
Fine.
and there you have Uttam Kumar, Suchitra Sen, Bikash Roy, Chovi Viswas film, this thing, photographs,
Right.
and I knew them. So
Hmm.
that is how I learned Bengali. And then
Okay.
because I have not been to any Bengali school in my
Right.
life,
Right. Right.
and that is how I started reading few books, but I can't recall anything from those books.
Obviously. But did do you have someone tell stories to you? Because as we grow up, we have our parents, we have our grandparents tell stories. So do you have
No,
any memories of somebody narrating stories to you?
no, no.
Not that you can remember.
No, no, no. Actually, I write all these things. We should tell, grandfathers should tell, and all that. But nobody told me.
Okay.
हाँ, हम
Okay.
अपने यहाँ भी बड़े हो गए, यूपी में बड़े हुए हैं, कानपुर में बड़े हुए हैं,
जी.
and बिल्कुल nobody told me the stories and all that.
तो एक बात बताइए. My question, like when I started off, and I'll continue with this conversation, you've been a teacher for the longest period, and
Yes,
I
I'm
strongly
still a teacher. By the
and
way,
I
I'm
just
still a
wanted to
teacher.
complete, and
Yeah,
I firmly believe that before everything else, you are a teacher first,
yes,
right? You've you've had the good fortune, if I may say, to teach youngsters. You now manage and run a school, so you have the privilege of being in touch with the most important lot of the society, the lot which constitutes our future. Are right the students who go from 1 to 12, including your nursery kids. But before that, prior to that, you were a teacher at IIT, right? So as a teacher who has not read so many books, be it fiction or non-fiction, right? Whatever books that you read were textbooks, but
yes,
you were a huge movie fan. That I know,
yes,
right?
yes.
Tell me, do you feel movies help you? in shaping up who you are as an individual? Does movie have a
Absolutely.
role?
You have asked me a question nobody asked me before.
Hmm.
I can tell you, movies have shaped me
Okay.
totally.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can tell you, as you know, that I was not a good student
Right. Right.
in the initial years,
G. G. G.
I was not a good student, but I knew that I can be a good student
Hmm.
provided I decide to really be a little bit more serious and all that.
Right. 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 Right.
And whenever I used to do bad in the my exams,
Hmm.
everyone in the family they used to tell me because I love films,
Right.
and everyone in the family used to tell me that सिनेमा देखता है इसीलिए इसका रिजल्ट खराब होता है.
Right.
देखो एक बात बता दे रहे हैं, सिनेमा देखता हूँ लेकिन सिनेमा देखने की वजह से मेरा रिजल्ट नहीं खराब होता, मैं पढ़ता नहीं हूँ इसलिए मेरा रिजल्ट खराब होता. सिनेमा को
Right.
ब्लेम करो. आई नेवर ब्लेम सिनेमा. हमारी अच्छा भी जब हुआ था,
Hmm.
एक जमाने में अच्छा भी तो हुआ हूँ.
Right. Right. Right.
जब फेल भी हुआ हूँ मैं तो टॉप भी तो किया है मैंने.
G. G. G.
उस समय अगर किसी ने मुझसे नहीं कहा सिनेमा देखता, मैं तब भी सिनेमा देखता था, मेरा
Right.
रिजल्ट तब भी अच्छा हुआ. सिनेमा देखना अलग बात है
हाँ. हाँ.
और पढ़ाई करना और पढ़ाना दो अलग बातें होती. रात को 12 बजे तक फिल्में देखूंगा मैं, 1 बजे तक फिल्में देखूंगा, सवेरे 8 बजे क्लास लेने जाता था. क्या परेशानी है?
तो एक बात बताइए, like I said, and I know how passionate you're about movies, but as movie makers, and we've seen, phases of brilliance in Indian cinema.
Yes.
There must be, and I'm sure there is in global cinema, but for our discussion, I'll contain this conversation to Indian movies,
Yes.
Hindi and vernacular.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's brilliant movies in other languages also, but we are familiar with Bengali and Hindi
Yes.
primarily.
Mostly.
We've seen phases of brilliance,
Yes.
right? There's an era which made brilliant movies, and then there was this drought, which did not make good movies in Hindi as well as Bengali movies.
Yes.
And now we are again maybe in a fortunate era where they're again being made very very good movies, right? How do you see the role of a filmmaker or a storyteller in shaping up the society at large? Yes, because cinema is essentially a form of entertainment, but it's a
Yes.
very powerful medium also.
Yes.
Have you as so that's what I'm trying to stitch your role as a teacher, as an academic, and a film fan. How do you think both of them can coexist?
Both can coexist.
Hmm?
If I can play cricket, if I can love cricket and I can also go to the classroom, why can't I go up to watch a film and then go to the classroom?
Right,
Two
right,
different things,
right,
If you
right,
love something, there are so many people who love music, for example.
right,
So
right.
you can continue with both the things. If you are asking me some connection between them and all that, uh, my subjects were such that I would not find any connection between them.
That is
I
no.
am,
I mean, not about the technical aspects of what you were teaching, but I'm asking more about, if you know what I'm saying, movies, the kind of movies that I'm talking about, or many movies at large. It speaks or tells you a lot about life in general. The more soft elements of life is what I'm saying.
yes,
What makes you who you are as a human being?
yes. I think I will give a lot of credit to movies because because of movies, I can tell you, I never realized, but these days I'm realizing for the past maybe 15 years, I'm writing very different kind of
Hmm,
things.
hmm,
I'm
hmm.
not writing, I'm
Right,
so far, in the beginning, I was only writing about chemical engineering and biotechnology. And
right,
I have
right.
written books, research papers. That is the usual job a professor does.
Hmm.
When I came to Jaipur,
Absolutely.
and that actually I started reading different kind of books and I started writing. And
Right,
I can tell you, I actually, that was the time when films really, really helped me. Actually, they told me so many things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I never thought that I'm going to write. I could not write even a single paragraph. If
Okay.
it's a technical thing, I will write. But but then I realized that when I started writing in my mind some scripts, film scripts. Suppose somebody has made this film in this way.
Right.
If I make this film,
Right.
is
Right.
my alternate profession. Actually, I wish I was a filmmaker, but
Okay.
not
Okay.
the issue here. But if I used to really think in my mind that if I am doing this thing, mostly I used to think in terms of script writing, that I will do
Right.
it this
Right.
way, that way, and all that. And that is how from script writing I started writing. One day I thought that why can't I write poetry? If I have not read Surdas or Kabir Das or Tulsidas and all that, I have done very bad in Hindi. Doesn't matter. I know Hindi, kam chalao Hindi, and
Hmm.
why can't I write? I started writing.
Right.
So and actually, I give a lot of importance to films in my personal life, but I can't extrapolate it to everybody's life.
That's
Everybody
totally
has
fine.
yeah.
Why I ask this question, Baba, is because uh, I don't ask this because I see you successful. I am not also saying this because you are an academic. Ask this because see, generally there is a taboo against movies.
Yes.
In the sense, if you are watching too many movies or if you're watching television generally, लड़का एकदम बिगड़ गया, खराब हो गया, एकदम हाथ से चला गया है.
Hmm.
That is not necessarily true, is what I'm saying.
No, no, absolutely not true. Just my hero, the all-time hero, life's hero, is Satyajit Ray. And I have
Okay.
not seen anybody more intelligent than him. So, Satyajit started with so many things, and he has come to films.
Right.
So, absolutely, absolutely, the most intelligent person on this earth can be a movie lover.
When I said, does movies have a role to play in building who you are, I actually meant this, the life skills, because I think you can learn the technical nuances of
Yes,
job,
yes,
but
yes,
life skills are skills that take you the distance.
yes. Today I'm talking to you. Suppose I had not seen films. Suppose I was not writing things of my liking.
Right.
I
Right.
couldn't have talked to you.
I guess so.
I
Yes.
could have
It,
I would
it,
have asked you to all chemical engineering things and all that.
right.
But
Right.
I am talking to you so frankly, and I am not worried about anything. If
Right.
I why this thing? Because it is because of films, because of my writing, because of writing has shown me a very, very different world. I never thought about things before. I was in an ivory tower. I did not
Right.
see people but writing and films and all these things. Now I look at it very, very differently, and I'm
Right.
really
Right.
enjoying
Right.
that post part. What you are asking me. If you had asked me this question when I was in Delhi or in IIT, maybe I would have क्या पता नहीं क्या पूछ रहे हो तुम हमसे. लेकिन
Right.
today I
Right.
can
Right.
relate
Right.
to your questions.
Right, right, right. So, and I'll come. I'll get this question a full circle. Now, like I said, you have spent majority of your professional life as a teacher, as an academic, right? Very, very important. May not be a very popular question, but I feel it's a very important question, especially coming to an academic like you. Is, can the way we teach our students change with time? Why I say this? And I'm trying to now stitch you know, our love for watching movies, right? And education. So what I'm trying to say here is, there is, when you watch a movie, right? There is a certain sense of concentration in watching a movie also, or a cartoon for that matter, right?
Yes. Mm.
Whereas when we do education in the most traditional form, like reading a book, and in the Indian system, there's a lot of rote also. Do you feel if the way we teach our children changes? I'm not talking about a world without books, but can mixed media, can other forms of telling what is or how you impart education, do you think that has a role in future of education?
There is only that role, because the conventional teaching is going to go. I give
Right.
all everywhere I'm going nowadays, and I'm
Hmm.
going telling them that you have to change yourself. Particularly the teachers, I'm telling them that you have to change yourself. If you do conventional teaching, you will not be getting a job. You
Right.
have to change yourself. You have to present yourself, and you have to make your lessons interesting, because other things which are available in the books, people will get it from the books.
Right.
And
Right.
you have to make it interesting. For example, if I'm talking to you and if you are giving a visual presentation in the background. Suppose I'm talking to you about films. I'm talking to you about Sati
Right.
Ray, the technicalities of Sati Ray film. And you are I'm just talking to you, and I'm on the back, you are projecting that thing, what I'm talking to you.
Right.
Will make a
Right.
huge, huge impact. And I've seen that what I used to cover, for example, with the chalk and board and all that. I'm not saying that
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
forget about chalk and board, but what I'm trying to, everything has an
Exactly.
age. Everything has an age. What I
Coexistence also.
Yeah, yeah. For example, when I go to my classes now, and I cover so many things, and then I try to kind of, if it is a very, very hardcore engineering subject. I go there and my examples are all from everyday life. So, and
Right.
I'm not
Right.
talking to you about, I'm not going to a class 12 or BSc, MSc. I'm talking to the best places. For example, all engineering, kind of Indian National Academy of Engineering. And I give examples. I have so much of confidence. I have got the feedback I get many, many examples from films, from
Right.
music, from many other things. And it makes, and most visual presentation is really, really changes everything.
Yes,
Changes.
and I think it's a process. It's a journey because it also needs the necessary infrastructure and the accompanying investments. It is
Yes,
expensive.
absolutely, absolutely. I was reading somewhere, in many places, they have very, very expensive classrooms,
Right.
which normal schools can't afford.
Right.
I'm
Right.
absolutely with them. But I have also read about the best places in the world
Hmm.
where they can afford everything in the world, and their classrooms are simple chalk and board.
Right. Right. Right.
This is what I'm trying to tell. Everything has a place, and you have
Right.
to
Right.
understand this thing. As a teacher, you have to understand this thing. Teaching is, you're connecting with everything is, you're connecting with the students.
Right.
And if you are
Right.
connecting with the students through your chalk and board, at times comes, then it's very good. If you have to connect it through your visual presentation, it's also there. You should really, really. Again, I will give you an example of films. There was a study that they said, how do you know that a film is very good? People are liking this film.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they just monitored the eyes,
The pupils, the
the
pupil
yes,
movement.
pupil movement.
Hmm.
And they simply monitored the pupil movement, and they studied engagement factor with the screen. How much you are engaged in the screen, how many times you are just going here and there.
Right. Right.
And they said that the film they really, really are enjoying. They really don't want to. They're focusing on the
Right.
screen. So
Right.
that is what I'm saying. This is the same thing. When you're taking a class in the classroom, and if you can't, it will be a very sad day when you are going to the classroom and you're teaching something and your students are
Right.
absolutely not interested. There
Right.
will be, out of 40 students, there will be 10 students, 15 students. There will always be, whatever
Right.
you do, they will not be interested in
Right.
the classroom.
Right. Right.
But there are 25 students who will be attentive, and that is the
Right.
yardstick or
Right.
measurement of a good teacher.
I think in a nutshell, What I kind of feel here is it is not necessary for something to be important to be boring. Education is a very important integral part of everyone's life, but I think if we can work on the engagement factor, it
Yes.
will help us as a society at large.
Yes, yes. Engagement factor is extremely important. Or whether you call it engagement factor looks very technical and all that.
Right,
What I really mean is that if suppose for example I'm talking to you and
right.
your questions are not interesting to me, if you can't
Absolutely.
engage,
Yes.
the conversation has no meaning. And
Right,
the
right,
conversation
right.
has meaning only when your question. And as a questioner, you should ask me questions which interests me.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
the point.
So
And
it is both our responsibility.
yes, absolutely,
Right,
absolutely.
right,
You are a brilliant teacher and you go to the classroom, you don't know the names of the students and you don't know them anything about them. I knew everything about them. I knew everything about them. I used to call them at my place. They will come and lunch, dinner, and everything. Because very important. Your syllabus, more than your syllabus, is very important to understand the student, and that
right.
I really that is what I have learned from
And,
my.
and you gave this example. I won't say I'm differing, but I feel you give the example of 40 students of which 15 will never participate and 25 will be actually. But I think the difference between a good teacher and a great teacher is that great teacher makes sure that the 15 who do not usually participate, they will also participate.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I tell you, the best teachers, for example, in physics, chemistry, mathematics, which whole engineering, all
Right.
respective of the branch you are in, they will have a huge class of all sections will come, all mechanical, electrical, civil, everybody
Right.
will come, and that teacher will take the class because he can hold the attention of all the class, all
Right.
the students,
Right.
and
Right.
that is the quality of a good teacher, that you can 40 students, you have something like 200 students, and a
Right.
huge, and
Right.
there you're projecting and all that, but you can see that whether students are interested or not.
Right.
And I've seen many teachers, I have
Right.
never taken such a class. I have in seminars, I have
Right. Right.
given lectures, but
Right.
never in my classroom, because I
Right.
have never taken basic courses like physics, chemistry, and mathematics.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
these are the courses where you have, so all students come,
Right. Right.
and it makes a lot of difference. It makes a lot of teacher, a good teacher. Every year when we award good teachers,
Right.
you have to see all these things. You have
Absolutely.
to see all this.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
you're yes.
Wonderful, Baba. Like I said, this has the potential to be a very long conversation, but I'll probably bring a pause to this, and I will follow these conversations in subsequent meetings. But till now, wonderful speaking to you like always. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for today's conversation.